All right, guys, it's Paul Singh, the Market Speculator, with the weekly swing trade report for December 11, 2017. Now, you guys remember we did a webinar a couple of weeks ago talking about December seasonality. We went into it in really big detail, but the short version of it is we tend to see a little dip at the beginning of December, and then mid to late December, we get a year-end run, usually in the stocks that have been working the best going into the end of the year. That's because a lot of the big hedge funds, they want to show their clients that they're in the stocks that have been moving, whether they had been there earlier in the year. So that's what we're looking for right now. Now, what we expected has played out. We got that early December dip. If you look at SPY here, you can see that. We had that little dip here, and now we're starting to pull back up. So this sets us up for that year-end run. So we're bouncing off the 9 here, exactly what we want to see. Friday, we got the test of the highs, and now we're going to watch a break of the highs. A lot of sectors are working. A lot of different areas that have been beaten down and have made runs are all working. Now, if we pull up the Qs, big tech have made a little bit of a pullback. Stronger pullback than SPY, and now that is back up over the 9 as well. So a lot of the semiconductors, the FANG stocks, the big tech stuff that had pulled back are ready to run. We just took profits in Facebook here, and you can see how Facebook made its move to the top of the range. We took the profit right here, and now we'll look to get back in if it breaks the high. And I'm willing to bet if it breaks the high, we could see a really nice run going into the end of the year. So let's look at a few stocks and a few areas we're paying attention to. The big techs, Google, you can see here, has also broke its 9, as has Amazon. So these you could actually enter right here and see if they make a year-end run. We're currently in NVIDIA, so trade report members who get the swing trade alerts are in NVIDIA right now. We got in around 187, 188. I remember the exact price. We're at 191 now. Now, if we can break this range here, we could see a really big run. So watch these semiconductors. I'm not going to go over all the stocks here in the weekend review, but you can look at the index here. I would watch SMH. If SMH breaks here to, let's say, 150, if it breaks that level, I would look to either trade semiconductor stocks like NVIDIA, OLED. There's a few other good ones. AMBA's a good one. Or you could just trade the ETF. Go to SOXL, which is a leveraged ETF, so you're going to get a little more volatility than you would with SOXL. And you can see this thing run. I mean, if we get an entry here at 144, we could see a 20 or 30 point run going into the end of the year just to test the high. So keep an eye out on that. Semiconductors front and center on the radar. And surprisingly, retail has been running over the last month or so. Been beaten down through a lot of the year. But let's pull up XRT, and you can see the ETF is on fire. And if we pull this thing back a year, you can see how beaten down it had been, but now it's coming back. So we're not going to trade the ETF. We're going to look for the best stocks we can find in that area. The big department stores, we've got Macy's here back up over the moving averages, Kohl's back up over the moving averages. The more explosive way to play it would be these specialty retailers. You have Gap here. Has already made a run from 26 to 33. Watch it consolidate. Maybe it makes another run. DKS, bottoming formation, has run from about 23 to 30 and still has room to get to about 35 before it fills the gap. We have Lulu, specialty retail here, on fire, earnings breakout. We can apply not only the retail analysis, but earnings breakout strategies that we use for Lulu. And we also have Dollar Tree and Dollar General, which have been doing well as well. So watch retail, watch semiconductors. We've got a bunch of other stocks we're watching, but I'm just going to point out a few of the ETFs for you guys. Biotech, if it clears that 50-day moving average, I would definitely look to get into LABU. And then energy also has shown some strength here at 69. I'd probably wait for a break of 70, but if it can break through this pretty strong range here, we could see a nice run. So keep these guys on our radar. And there were also a bunch of stocks in the webinar. So go back and look at that December seasonality webinar I did a couple of weeks ago here. There's a list of 33 stocks. All should be good going into the end of the year. And we have the areas we talked about today. So all right, guys, remember you can always sign up for the trade report. If not, I'll see you guys next week with the weekly swing report.